We never dreamed it would be so large, so quickly now. We started in the year 2000, and there are over 6,000 companies have signed up in 135 countries, just to give you an idea of the scope. And it seems to me it's working well beyond our wildest dreams when we started. Again, the UN Global Compact does not have authority to police companies. It's primarily thought of as a way to establish norms, a way to educate, a way to get a set of common behaviors accepted around the world. Let me give you one example that was alluded to by Mark Moody Stewart. He talked about Sudan, and one of the big criticisms of the UN Global Compact is that PetroChina is a member, and you might be surprised that Chinese companies are in the Global Compact. At our last, every 3 years we have a meeting of the top 1,000 companies. In the last 3 years ago, it was in Geneva. The country with the most companies there was China. And so they're very interested in being perceived as honorable and good players in business. And so that's important to know because it's a good piece of leverage for us. In any event, the big criticism that we've been getting as a board member, I get from the NGOs who are participating, and some of the best NGOs are also in the UN Global Compact. But what about PetroChina? PetroChina is the major buyer of oil from the Sudan. And the money that's used, the money that the Sudanese government gets from PetroChina is used to buy armaments to conduct war on their own people, particularly in Darfur. And as you may know, that's quite a long story, but it's a lot of people have lost their lives, and it's been brutal. So people said, you should force PetroChina out of the Global Compact, because they're certainly complicit in human rights abuses, because it's their money that's supplying the Sudanese government with the armaments. And as Mark Moody Stewart alluded to, he didn't give the details, and I suspect he didn't want to put it on video for the press, but we have had a series of meetings under the auspices of the UN Global Compact, where we brought together NGOs, government leaders, key players in the oil industry, and tried to talk about the fact that this huge source of money coming into Sudan was being used to brutalize their own people, and perhaps the companies ought to use some of their leverage on people in the government to stop this. And perhaps the companies ought to take some responsibility because it would appear they're complicit in terrible human rights abuses. Now, when we started this was like we were talking another language, because the Chinese didn't immediately perceive that this was a moral issue. Not too unlike my friends at Nike back in 1990. Let's not blame the Chinese. They're no more tone deaf than the rest of us. But I think we've made some headway. So that, in a nutshell, is the case I would make in a 30-page paper, which I could have read to you. So thank the Lord. There are a couple short video clips which give you an idea of, first of all, the global reach of the compact, and then a very brief PowerPoint which will highlight some of the issues. If we can put the first video clip on, and this is CEOs of companies. Several of the CEOs are no longer in power, but CEOs come and go, as Bobby Godsell knows. But I'm hoping he's going to tell us about, well, no, I don't know. Well, can we do the first video clip, please?
Corporate citizenship is not just an idea whose time has come. It is also the wave of the future.
I believe in this ideal of a relationship between public and private sector. I also believe that in order for the private sector to fulfill its goal of promoting economic growth and development, it must be transparent and it must contribute to combating corruption.
A cidadania corporativa é a resposta para combater a miséria e a exclusão social.
The bigger the power, the bigger must be the responsibility.
By participating in the UN Global Compact, we hope to continue our effort to contribute to a world in which everyone benefits from globalization.
We believe that as the world becomes increasingly networked, it's more important than ever that public and private sectors work together towards creating a sustainable global society.
Together, in partnership, we can offer more hope, greater opportunities, and better tomorrows for everyone.
Signatories of the Global Compact can do a lot to empower developing countries. This they can do through the business practices that they adopt in interacting with those countries. Secondly, they can also do in the way that they support the implementation of global development initiatives.
Corporation citizenship must include responsibility to safeguard and develop these key elements of life for our future generations.
For the sake of a better future for all of us, we must engage government, civil society, and business in a spirit of true partnership. The Global Compact is the creative answer to building the bridges we need between all stakeholders through investment in the future of humanity.
I'm pleased to acknowledge that in the past 2 years, our relationship has taken great strides. I propose that you, the business leaders here gathered in Davos, and we, the United Nations, initiate a global compact of shared values and principles which will give a human face to the global market.
We look at fair labor very seriously, and we do it in two places. One is the cocoa farm, the other is the factory. Every factory worker starts their day, they get up in subsidized housing. They take free bus to the factory if you're a line worker. We have an on-site canteen, so you get 3 square meals a day, hot meals. Every factory worker is now a shareholder in the company, so they stand to benefit economically from gains in productivity. The whole Omanhini venture was modeled on sustainability, an arm's-length business relationship between Omanhini and the government of Ghana. And to prove up this business model, Omanhini has to grow, and we have to carry along the cocoa farmers and the production facilities in Ghana with us.